Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about fighters that shined at UFC London last night. First one on this list, and it has to be on it, absolutely, is Tom Aspinall. I mean, at London, seems like the pressure doesn't get to him. He fights very well, even though I do wish the fight went a little bit longer, just because we can answer a lot of questions. We still don't have those questions answered, but that's not his fault, and that's not our fault. It is what it is. At some point, we will see what we need to see, whether that's against John, which it's not going to be against John because John's going to retire after Stipe, but whether that's going to be against Sergey, whether that's going to be against Gan, whether that's going to be against Spivak, Tai Tuivasa, which is not going 5 rounds, but, Next, honestly, is Paul Craig. He really showed out as well. That chin still worries me a little bit. His style worries me a little bit. It's not a safe style at all, which cool, good by him, but he can be an absolute monster if he can slow things down a little bit and drag fighters into his game plan. I thought moving down to middleweight, Muniz was going to be the physically more stronger guy. We did see sometimes when he was on top of Craig had issues of adjusting and moving, but once he was able to find his rhythm, Muniz couldn't do anything. It was crazy, honestly. Also is Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy's absolutely on this list. Probably, honestly, at number 2. Probably Tom Aspinall, Lerone Murphy, Paul Craig, and then so on and so forth. Lerone Murphy showed out last night. Beating a guy like Josh Kulabau with his own style really impressed me. I am a little concerned with his defense striking wise. He did walk into a couple punches from Josh. He also did say Josh surprised him with his stand up, but I was surprised Josh wasn't able to dictate where the fight went, the pace, the pressure. He just didn't fight how I thought he was going to, how he had in every other fight. So great performance by Lerone Murphy. I was not expecting him to look as good as he did. And then next is Johnny Parsons. Johnny Parsons showed out last night. Showed his defense. His defense was crazy. Showed his defense. Showed his ability to weather the storm, stay calm, stay patient. Even when he has someone hurt, don't go crazy. Really impressed me last night. Really impressed me. Next guy is Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin. I know it's Jamil Pogus. I understand that. But it's the poise. It's the calculated version of Mick Parkin. He's so calculated. He's so dialed in. At least he was last night at London, in London. But Mick Parkin looked really good. Again, I know his competition isn't great, but that's who they put in front of him, and that's who we're judging him on for there. I'm not saying he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. I'm just saying I'm very impressed with his composure, his poise, his ability to throw combinations and stay technically, defensively sound. Very impressed by Mick Parkin. Next is Chris Duncan. Probably the last one on this list is Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan looked incredible last night. I know Yano broke his arm in the first round, his wrist, but I don't know how much more Yano could have done with that arm still intact, or the wrist. Chris Duncan's movement looked good. His output looked good. Being the taller, longer guy really seemed to help Chris Duncan a lot. Does leave his chin out there. He doesn't really move it off the center line at most times. That's why I had picked Yano Ashmez to win that fight, because of how hard he hits, how fast he is, and how pretty good he is on the ground. But defensively, Yano impressed, but Chris Duncan's performance last night was nothing more than awesome. The improvements he's made at the gym that he's at is honestly absolutely incredible, because a couple fights ago, he probably loses that fight last night. Doesn't stay as poised, doesn't stay as pressured, measured, and all those. Chris Duncan looked really awesome last night. And I know Tom Aspinall's calling out John, saying he's going to wait for Gan, whoever wins the Spivak-Gan fight, I believe. And that's an interesting fight. I don't think he's going to fight John, like I said. I think John's going to retire after Stipe. But, I mean, I guess we'll see. He's 30 years old now, is Tom Aspinall. The Curtis Blades fight shouldn't be on his record. It should be a no contest because nothing that Curtis Blades did caused the injury. Nothing. So that's a little tough. And he's beaten Sergey Spivak, so he would only be waiting for Gane if Gane wins. Because he's not going to rematch Sergey Spivak. And he was supposed to fight Sergey Pavlovich. Jesus. Back in 2021. And, yeah. I mean, you can't really ask much more. He looks good on the ground. He looks good standing up. He's very fast. His movement's awesome. Causes a lot of issues for a lot of fighters. That one loss in the UFC shouldn't be a loss. It should be a no contest. Is what it is, though. But those are the guys that I think really impressed last night. As always, guys. Also, there's somebody that we're not talking about. Andre Fili. Andre Fili's I almost blanked on him. Absolutely is on this list. He impressed me more than Nathaniel Wood did, and I had Wood winning. Had him to win that fight. I didn't expect Andre Fili to be able to connect on Wood as much as he did, and I didn't expect him to have the power to sit him down multiple times. Wood said the second time he got hurt in that second round, he was so badly hurt. I wasn't expecting that from Andre Fili. He looked good. He looked poised. Did get caught at the end of the first round for sure. But that fight, you could argue that he won that fight. So, great performance by Andre Fili. Yeah, I can't really ask him to do much more. I thought, honestly, that he was going to pull that fight off. I thought he had won the second and the third round. And he won most of the first until he got caught and hurt. But yeah, Andre Fili really impressed me. Whether he won or lost. Or whether he won or lost. Jesus. Those are the guys on my list. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe, like, and comment if you guys are new. As always, let me know who you guys thought really impressed you last night. And as always, peace.